My name is Monica. I lived my life for my family. But today they mock me for not having a man.
Auntie Monica, you are getting old. Try and marry, problems no they finish.
I know, but I'm still worried. Don't be. Look at me. Problems didn't finish.
This is for my siblings' school fees, rent, and food. This is Mama's medical bills, Papa's pocket money. Me? I'm left with nothing.
She paid their school fees with money she hadn't even finished earning. She skipped owning a car so they could finish university. She laid the last block on her parents' house with her own name on the bank loan, not theirs. And after all of that, her own siblings looked her in the eye and said, "Monica, go and marry. We didn't ask you to sacrifice your life for us." Monica Okafor was the kind of woman you noticed when she walked into a room, not because she was loud, but because something about her said, "I have carried weight before." Light-skinned, tall, with a full hourglass figure that turned heads on Wuse market mornings. She dressed simply, no fuss. She didn't have time for fuss. She was 34 years old. She lived in a 2-bedroom flat in Garki, Abuja, and worked as a senior accounts officer in a construction firm. Her colleagues called her Madame Monica, not as a joke, but out of genuine respect. She was sharp, calm, and she always got things done. But outside that office, Monica was carrying a whole family on her back. She was the first of 4 children. After her came Emeka, Chidi, and Adaeze. Their father had retired early from the civil service after a health scare. Their mother sold akara and pap at a roadside spot in Karu every morning, stubborn, proud, and tired in equal measure. When Monica got her first real job at 23, there was no family meeting, no discussion. It just happened, quietly, naturally, the way things always fell on the first daughter. She started paying Emeka's polytechnic fees, then Chidi's JAMB, his first year, his second year, all the way to his HND. Then Adaize's university fees at Uniben. 4 years, 3 children, 1 salary. She never complained, not once, because in her mind, this was just what you did. You were the first. You held the door open for the ones behind you. When Monica was 29, her father called her, not her brothers, not a family meeting. Her, "Monica, my daughter, the land in the village, we need to do something before I die. Your mother and I cannot continue renting in Karu at our age." She didn't argue. She didn't say, "What about the boys?" She just asked, "How much is the foundation going to cost?" It took her 3 years. She took a bank loan. She cut her own expenses down to almost nothing. No vacation, no new clothes unless necessary, no moving to a better flat even though her colleagues were upgrading. Every spare kobo went into that building. She supervised the site herself on weekends, driving down to Enugu State in a bus because she couldn't afford to fly. She argued with contractors who tried to cut corners on materials. She cried exactly once, alone in a hotel room in Enugu, after a contractor disappeared with 300,000 naira. She wiped her face, found a new contractor, and kept building. The house was completed in 2023. 4 bedrooms, a sitting room, a small compound with a gate. Her parents moved in on a Tuesday. Her mother cooked jollof rice and called the whole family. It was a good day. Monica smiled in every photo. Then she drove back to Abuja, alone. By 2024, all 3 siblings had graduated and moved on with their lives. Emeka had a job at a logistics company in Lagos. Chidi was doing okay in Port Harcourt, something with oil servicing. Adaeze, the last born, had just gotten engaged. They were fine. They were living. And somehow, in the middle of all of that, Monica became the problem. It started with small comments at Christmas, then a WhatsApp message from Adaeze, the very one Monica had sacrificed the most for. "Sis, I'm not saying anything bad, but you are 34 now. Honestly, I think you've been too focused on us and you've been neglecting yourself. There's this guy that wants to meet you. Just talk to him now. You need to start your own life. Monica stared at her phone for a long time. Then Emeka called. He used that new voice he had recently developed, that older brother tone that came from nowhere, considering she was the one who was actually older. Monica, look, we appreciate what you did for us, but we didn't send you. Nobody forced you. You made those choices yourself. Now you are 34, no husband, and you're acting like we owe you something. Go and marry. Live your life. We didn't send you. She put the phone down and sat in her sitting room without moving for almost an hour. That phrase, we didn't send you. She thought about the night she couldn't sleep because Chidi's exam fees were due and her account was almost nothing. She thought about the bank loan for the house, the one she was still paying back every single month. She thought about the man she had liked at 30, who asked her where she saw herself in 5 years. She had said, stable, family stable first. He didn't call back. She wasn't even surprised. She thought about it all, every single piece of it, inside life. She didn't respond to Adaize that day, or the next. On the third day, she opened the family WhatsApp group, the one called Okafo Family, and she typed, not with anger, not with tears, just with the plain, tired truth of a woman who was finally done performing strength for people who called her love a personal choice. I have read what Emeka and Adaize said. You are right. Nobody forced me. I did it because you are my family and because I loved you and because I believed that is what family does. I don't need you to thank me, but I need you to understand something. Telling me to go and marry as if I have been sitting here refusing life, that is not concern. That is guilt dressed up as advice. I know what I sacrificed. I know what I delayed. I don't need you to remind me that I am 34. I see my own face every morning. What I do need is for this family to stop treating the person who held everyone together like she is the one with the problem. I am fine. I will be fine. But I will not be spoken to like I am a burden for the love I gave freely. Good night. She pressed send, put the phone face down, and for the first time in years, she slept straight through till morning. Inside life. Her mother called the next morning. She didn't apologize for the children exactly. That wasn't her mother's way. But she said, Monica, God is watching everything. Everything. Don't let them use mouth to rubbish what you did. The house you built is standing. The certificates are real. That is evidence. Nobody can take it. It wasn't a lot, but coming from her mother, it was everything. Emeka called 2 days later, quieter, smaller somehow, and said he was sorry for how he worded things. Adiaze sent a voice note, rambling and guilty sounding, the way Adiaze always was when she knew she had crossed a line. Monica accepted the apologies without drama. She wasn't the type to hold long grudges, but something had shifted in her permanently, cleanly, like a door that had quietly closed. She started therapy the following month, not because she was broken, but because for 11 years she had been everyone's solution and had never once sat down and asked herself the simplest question: what do I actually want? She was still paying off the house loan. She still sent her parents money every month. She still picked up when her siblings called. But she started saying no to things that cost her peace. She started protecting her own energy the same way she had always protected theirs. In December, she took a solo trip to Calabar. Just her, a hotel with a view of the water, and 3 days of absolute quiet. She posted one photo on her WhatsApp status, sunlight on the river, a small smile, No caption. She looked happy because for the first time in a very long time, she actually was. Inside life,
Monica's story is not unique in Nigeria. In many families across this country, the first daughter becomes the first solution. She carries what the parents cannot carry. She fills the gaps the brothers won't fill. She stays when everyone else has moved on. And she does it quietly, because that is what she was taught strength looks like. And then one day, those same people she held up look at her and say, "Why aren't you married? Why are you so serious? You chose this yourself." If you know a Monica in your life, a sister, a friend, a woman quietly carrying a family she never agreed to carry alone, please don't add to her load with careless words. Her sacrifice was real, even when it was silent. And if you are Monica, this one is for you. What you did mattered. What you gave was real. And you are allowed, you have always been allowed to finally choose yourself. She didn't sacrifice her life. She invested it in people who forgot the price she paid. The end. Do well to subscribe, like, comment. Bye-bye.
Auntie Monica, you are getting old. Try and marry, problems no dey finish.
I know, but I'm still worried. Don't be. Look at me. Problems didn't finish. My name is Monica. I lived my life for my family. But today they mock me for not having a man.